just to pull. There you go. Oh, there goes the engine wobbling. That's how you get an engine out of a Twingo. Right, welcome to season 3, where this engine comes out and a new one goes in. But first we need to get the car ready for everything to come out. So as you can see, it's nice and highly jacked up. Gonna whip off the front 2 wheels, undo the bonnet, job's good. Right, so there we go, that's the bumper off. See my dodgy paintwork for making it not look too bad with the holes cut in it. Brake ducts were disconnected previously when I took the video, the bumper off for a quick live stream test, because I will be live streaming pulling this entire thing out, which hopefully you'll hear about before I actually do it, rather than in this video. But if you hear about it in this video, then there's a ghost, a live stream to watch. Yep, so we'll disconnect the battery, and then it's time to get the oil out, not from here obviously, oil, coolant, gearbox oil, and then we can start disconnecting everything properly on the live stream to take it all apart. And yeah, putting a bumper in the back is much harder now there's a roll cage in here. So to do some serious threading of things, but it's in. Also, for the eagle-eyed menu, we'll notice things have gone matte black in here. So colour scheme, it's going to be a matte black interior. Like I've started there versus the silver. And then the frame and the strut bar are going to be high-vis fluorescent, day glow, yellow, whatever you choose. That's just a test bit on no primed bit to see how it looks. But I think, yeah, that's going to be a cool colour scheme. Right, that's the battery out. The gearbox, upper gearbox mount actually looks some pretty good neck. We've had our first snapped bolt, so this one entirely sheared off, probably somewhere with a breaker bar. That's the rest of it in there. Curiously though, this one looked pretty tatty, but this looked brand new. So I wonder whether that's been changed at some point. Must have been comparing these two together. Right, so that's the battery out. That's the air intake off. So now it's just sort of fluids, and then we'll save the rest for another day. Now I'll try and do this in a more controlled manner than I did when I was braking the other car that the engine came out of, but a quick way to drain the washer fluid. Should be just a pull. Done. And when you know that's going to happen, you can get out of the way. Let's put that back in there for security. There we go. Right. Let's get this out here, what's to here. One tube. The other one won't come off. Two tubes. Right, next up, lights and this off to give more space, and then we'll go into the car and drain the rest. Or not, because it's locked. There's no battery in here. Right, looks like 10 mils. 10 mils for days. One more, 5. This jobby off, give us a bit more space. More 10 mils. So there's some bolts up under here which we're going to try and get to without being attacked by dogs. And of course this doesn't fit because the radiator's in the way. So time to go get a spanner. Right, that is now loose. Just need to detach the coolant tank, and then that whole job should be able to come out, be able to take the locking bit off, and yeah, do something else. Right, expansion bottle is off. Curiously a 6mm bolt. We just have these bits left and the bonnet latch. And this comes out and this gives us more space. Right, much more room to play with. Let's go drain some oil. Right, last time we did this, we got very oily and we dropped the sump plug in here. That's not the right size. Yes, it is. Right. Over me, I'm going to go get some paper towels before going. There we go. That's pretty black for 1 and a bit track days. And I get the lovely new block cave drive all oily. Definitely a lot more oil than came out of it the first time I did it. I'll put a link up in the description up here, or just link in the video of how to see that. But yeah, it's certainly got a good aroma to it. Right, pour it on the dry. Oh, there it goes. Too much going out the far side. It's now going on the drive. And now for the one I'm not looking forward to, which is all the coolant. Because God knows where this is going to go. I suspect I've got the wrong size things. Of course it's going to hit a cross member and it's just going to go wherever the heck it wants to go. fooling myself doing something else. Here it comes. Get the electric tools out of the way. As I say, it looks a bit horrible in there, but then I realise I've not cleaned all the oil out of it, so. Time to stop the dogs drinking this. So we'll shut the door. Right, once that finishes draining, and we've made a mess, let's get the radiator out. So I'll be unclipping all these hose clamps, undo this bolt here by the looks of it, and it should just pull out. That's the plan. Well, that's full of coolant. So that'll be the engine. Where's next? Unconnected. Find out what else is connected as we move it. That's the sound of more coolant coming out. So let's just clip through the fan, which I don't know how it comes off. There's the brake. Ta-da! It's a bit more space at least. Right, next. Right, this is what the engine bay looks like now. I had to cut this one off because that will not come off the bulkhead up here. So we'll deal with that another day because it's getting too hot. Radiator's gone. You can see the engine if I stand back. Got too many tools in the way. Where's the sunlight coming from? It's coming off the air. Yeah, it's getting there. And then this is everything we've taken out the engine bay. So this radiator, not living the best life. Right, so it's the next day. We've taken the scuttle panel off. I've got my assistant throwing all my Torx bits everywhere. It's now raining now that I've taken all the sheeting off, so why is it raining when there's blue? Oh, that'll be why. It is raining. Shall we go back inside? Well, this will be fun.
A few moments later.
Well, that changed pretty quickly. Lovely. I don't think I want to do anything under the car today.
Several days later.
Right, time for gearbox oil, which I've never changed in my ownership of this car. Looks pretty clean. It's very brown. I don't know how much oil is in here. I hope it's less than 6 litres. Oh, yes. There we go. Right, so that is washer fluid drained, gearbox oil drained, engine oil drained, coolant drained because the radiator's not here anymore. So that's all the fluids out of it aside from whatever's left in the block. We have undone the hob nuts, which I probably should have done before I took it off the ground because these are 280 newton meters, so these are big boys. This came off with the impact. The other side required me to get a 1 meter long breaker bar and stand on it, both feet up and down, bouncing for it to move. So one of them, or both, is not done up right. Taken the scuttle panel off, so we've got lots of extra room. Of course, I'm going to start this video in a plane decides to fly. There it is. Up there somewhere. Thank you. Right. Oh, look at the sun. Good start. Right. It's going to rain tomorrow, so we've got the temporary car cover on. But what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get the rest of the car ready to go. So that is drive shafts and exhaust off. Right, so the hub nuts are off, so you can see there's a bit of play in here, but obviously this is all solid. So we're going to undo the bottom anti-roll, oh, whatever they are. My brain is not thinking. Undo these, so then this can all move around, and then on the passenger side there are some bolts, 3 of them. Pull that out, put something underneath because there will be gearbox oil coming out. And then the other side, same story. Undo the bottom 3 here, but there is nothing on this one. That should just pull straight out again. Right, so undo these, which I had handily done before it tipped it down. Although of course now they're all seized up again. enough to pull that up? No. Maybe. There's the other one. And the passenger side, which is likely gonna throw a ton of oil everywhere. Don't want that in there. Of course, I forgot to actually undo all those bolts up there. Be some oil that comes out of this. So make sure you've got your catch underneath. Don't spoil your driveway like I am. Or not. There's the tripody bit come out of it. Maybe I got all the oil out. I'm sure it'll go everywhere when I pull the engine. Right, so that is drive shafts out. All the radiator stuff is off. I need to tidy up that one. So, just the exhaust, which is going to be a nightmare. Look at these rusty old. There was enough light for it to. Those are going to be awful to do. And come on, focus. There we go. Need to get the ECU out of the bracket. Just anti-tamper. Doesn't it at all? Job's out. Right, so the ECU is housed in this anti-tamper bracket, which, as far as I can see, is just sort of held on by this rivet, I guess. It's a screw on this side, but there's a rivet on that side. So I think if we just, there's maybe two more down the bottom as well. If we just angle grind all those off, it should come out. Dunno. So that was it. I just popped it off. Feels like there's, oh yeah, there's two more down here as well. So we'll get a shot of those and should pop off. ones are putting up much more of a fight than the side one did. Ta-da! And then it's just 10mm holding the ECU in. 4 of them. And then disconnect the ECU, should be just a case of press these tabs in and lift these safety catches up, which is harder than I expected on this, probably because it's full of gunge. There we go. And that should just pop out. And now everything's wobbly. There we go. And then repeat down the line. Here's my little stabber. Right. These wires are all held on, so we'll just take these off and all this can come out. One ECU with its brackets. Right, so we are under the car. As you can see, here's the exhaust bolts, which these are or were 10 or 8mm sockets, bolts. Completely corroded. They're the original ones that have been on the car. They've been 122,000 miles, and they ain't coming off. So only one thing for it. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go. Ooh, that's quite a lot of sparks under here. The feeling it's going to drop right on me. So let's move out of the way. And that's one big bolt in there. Smoking. Right, let's give that a break before we do the other one. Smoking hot. Right. Start a great position to film and cut in. We'll try and do this one a bit differently, I think. Try and do this. Right, let's get a big hammer. Nope, that's well and truly on. Woo! See the pressure that came off that? So yeah. Exhaust is disconnected. Right, one less thing to do. So other things connecting the engine, we have the clutch cable here. So there's the clutch cable, goes all the way down there, through the bulkhead. New gearbox doesn't have a cable, it's all hydraulics, so don't need that connected. And then gearbox shifter rod is the last job here as well. I'm just going to disconnect this one here. You could, I think, pop it off from there as well, but I know this one comes off because this is what messed up my gear selection, which will be fixed. Get that out. Go. That's off. So this is the dog bone gearbox mount. So this is the bottom mount for the engine. Then we have this one, top mount, and then the top gearbox mount. So these are the three bits that actually hold the engine block and gearbox in, so they're the last thing to undo. Yeah, that is literally just the loom left. Right, let's unclip some wires that don't need to be clipped in. Map sensor, map sensor. Oh, that went wrong. That's snapped off, so that's in there. Don't know why that's come out multiple times before. Oh well. Front body. clippy thing here to fuel rail. That's cracked. So I guess the other side's not held in as well. No brainer. Alright, where does this all go down? This all goes to the alternator and everything. Starter motor. All those starter motor wires do not look pleasant to take off. They're gonna just be a pain. We'll come back to those. Alright, so we took it off the starter motor end instead. Now it started raining, of course, like everything I try and do on this car. Just get out of the way. That wire out of the way. No, we are going to have to attempt to undo at least this top one, which is see it. Yeah. Pretty grim. Is it a 10? It's a very short 10. I don't think we can get the spanner on it. So now we're going to have to get a the 10 ish. Oh. It does come off. And that's a much smaller one at the bottom. I guess 7. Nope. 8. Very stiff 8. Right, we'll continue pulling all these out. Just working our way around the engine bay, one by one by one. That's a real awkward one. continue our way around to what's under here. That's the gearbox breather that needs to be removed from its clearly not stock position. Right, these go down to the sensors down here. So I'll need to go under the car and get those off. Not that you can see on camera. But with just following this line of things down here and just undoing all these clips, which goes to the sensors down on the pipe down there. So we'll go and get those. Right, so one lambda sensor is here, just underneath a bit of cut off, and then the other ones. Oh, I can't see it from here. There. So I'll whip these off with a spanner, hopefully. Look a bit grim. Right, so these were 22 mils to get out, and as you can tell by how rusted they were absolute balls to do. Pretty much had I was lying under the car with a spanner on it, kicking it with my full body weight to get them undone. But they're both off, and now this bit of the loom is all gone, so there's now nothing going backwards, just this one bit this side to do. Where do those wires go? So they run along the back of the manifold, go into whatever that is up there, something to do with fuel lines, and it runs down into here. And don't worry, it's not normally this wet, it's because of all the fluids coming out, so it's just this. I guess is the oil temperature sensor, and that is the last wire that I can see. So there we are. This is now just held in by the engine mounts. All the wires are disconnected. They're all over there. Nothing going down the back. At least I don't think so. Oh, that's still connected. Gotta take this off then. And then we are entirely good to go. These things are absolute pains. So you have to squeeze on these and it releases. I'll squish this back in. So the act of squeezing on those is supposed to open them up, but as you can see it doesn't quite do it. And then there's a retaining lug on here that it's stuck to, so more grips on there, more grips on here, compress that one, pull that one. Right, and now hopefully I'm not going to spot any more wires. What's that? Nope. And that's not connected to anything. There's this wire going in here. This goes to the reversing job on the gearbox. That's disconnected at the other end, but it's pinched under here, so I can't get that out. So I have to wait for the mount to come undone. This is all disconnected. Time to pull it out. So as you can see, we've got the engine crane here, some good old climbing rope tied into the lift point. So now we just need to undo the mounts and it should come out. So we'll undo the bottom one first, whilst everything's supported from above, so it doesn't fall on my head and kill me, and then we'll do the top ones. Right, so we're under here. I've got a bit of cardboard down because I suspect some fluids are going to come out of this when I undo it. Well, not undo this, but when I move the engine. that's not attached anymore. We'll leave that one there. Just put this bolt back in so I don't lose it. Top ones! Just get those two. I don't think that's just literally held in by the weight now. And then this one. Just by how much the engine now moved. Start falling. I don't think we're attached anymore, Toto. Right, so undid those two bolts as well, so that's now out. So the engine is just hanging. So theoretically, this is just going to come out, which it appears to be doing. So yeah, that's how you get an engine out of a Twingo. As you can see, the engine is gone out the engine bay. It's over here swinging around. Hopefully you stay to the end of the video because it's probably about an hour long by now. And yeah, next steps is tidy all this up, take all the electrics out because that's all getting changed, prepare the new engine, which I've done a few shorts on, so watch that. And yeah, we'll get this engine bay ready for the new engine.